So this month we've been looking at planning, and we started off with creating a mission statement. Last week we talked about how to create a plan that would help you achieve it, and this week I want to talk to you about how you can keep focused, because that's something that we all suffer with, isn't it? It's so easy to get distracted, it's so easy to feel lack of motivation. So in today's video we're going to get focused. Hi, I'm Colette Broomhead and this is Business Class Monday. So I'm pretty sure we've all been there. We've all had a lack of focus. We've all created that goal, got really excited about it, and then over the coming hours, days, weeks, we gradually lose focus in it. And that's where we lose momentum, and that's where we don't achieve our goals. So focus is key. So why do we lose focus? Well, there's a number of reasons. Sometimes we just don't know where to start. Sometimes we just lose motivation, or perhaps we lose faith. And then other times life gets in the way and other priorities come up. So how do we overcome each of those things to keep our focus there and to keep our business moving forward towards the goals that we've set? So let's look at each of those points. The first one, you don't know where to start. Well, there's a couple of reasons there might be for that. The first one might be that you haven't created a plan. And without a plan, of course, you don't know where to start. So step one, always make sure you have a clear plan in place. Last week's video covered exactly how you can do that. So if you haven't already watched it, skip back and go watch that video, because you'll find it so helpful, especially if you are struggling with not knowing where to start. I'll put the link below. The other reason people might not know where to start is because they have a plan, but it's just not specific enough. It's not clear enough. So again, if that's you, skip back, because my last week's video is going to help you with that. A third reason for not knowing where to start is being indecisive. We can spend so much wasted time trying to make a decision. So the best advice I can give you is make the decision and start. If it's the wrong decision, then you've made progress because you've learned that, and then you can move on to the right decision. If it's the right decision, fantastic, you're moving forward. There's nothing worse. The only place where you stay still is by not making a decision and not starting. So make that decision and start. Lost motivation. Again, we all have days where we wake up and all we want to do is stick on Netflix and watch telly, or go out and do some shopping. The last thing we want to do is sit down and actually get on with our work. So how can you overcome that? The best way that I found is to remind yourself of the purpose that you originally set. Why are you doing this? And to really remind yourself of that. And there's a number of ways you can do it, and you have to find what works right for you. So Carrie Green, who is someone who I've recently started following, and who's just released a great book called She Means Business. She recommends doing something called a dream jar, where basically you jot down all those things that you want to achieve, not necessarily just in your business, but for your life through your business. So it might be more freedom to travel, more freedom to spend time with your children, the ability to be able to take your children on wonderful holidays, whatever it may be, whatever those dreams are that you have for your life, to write them all down on different pieces of paper and put them in a jar, and then every day take out one of those pieces of paper and really just imagine that dream and kind of feel that dream and re-inspire yourself every day with those dreams. Another way is to create a vision board, either using something like Pinterest, or actually something in your, wherever your workspace is, having something visual around you that you can kind of look at day to day to remind you of why you're doing what you're doing and what it is you're hoping to achieve. When you're doing that, don't just focus on the things that you want for you, because what can actually be really inspiring and really motivating are the things that you want to achieve for others. So it might be that you want to be successful in your business so that you can spend more time with your family, or so that you can give your family more, maybe give back to your parents or give back to siblings who have helped you in the past, whatever it may be. Often that idea of generosity and of being able to give back is even more inspiring than the things that you want for yourself. Lost faith is a really hard one, and we've all been there. We all experience a lack of confidence. We all doubt ourselves at times. And it can be really hard to get out of that mindset of just not believing that you're ever going to achieve it, and so why bother? So something that I've started doing that I've actually found really helpful is measuring my success and monitoring it. So there's two things here that I find really helpful. First of all, it's amazing how encouraging it is to be able to tick things off a list. So, when you've achieved something, go back and mark it off and note that you've achieved it. But also measure the things that you're doing. So every week, every Monday morning, I sit down and I measure, how many new subscribers I've had, how many new followers I've had, how many views of my blog I've had, how many coaching calls I've had. And just seeing those numbers gradually increase is unbelievably encouraging, and it reminds you that you are moving forward when sometimes it feels like you're not getting anywhere, especially when you're just starting out and week after week you think, when is anything going to happen? When is this going to change for me? And actually, if week by week you're watching those figures and you're seeing those little changes, you realise the change is happening. It's not always a case where you just wake up one morning and suddenly you're a success. Actually, success comes day by day in small steps. So watch those small steps and enjoy each one. So life gets in the way and other priorities come up. So this again comes down to planning, really. And it's about understanding on a day-to-day basis what your priorities are, and then being strong enough to say no to the things that aren't priorities. And this comes down to sometimes making tough decisions. But eventually, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. If you know that you're making those decisions for the right reasons, it makes it a lot easier. So make sure that on a day-to-day basis, you know what your priorities are for that day. And if something pops up and it's not part of that priority and it's going to affect whether you achieve that priority, then be strong enough and have enough faith to say no to that, to maybe put it off for another day or just say no to it completely, whatever it may be. And that way you'll always keep focus on those priorities, and only once those have been done would you then take your focus off and allow other things to sort of come into your day. So I hope you found that useful. I have created a free weekly planner that you can download and use, and it allows you just to mark off day to day what your priorities are for that day and week, and what your weekly goals are, and also to add a little inspirational quote for yourself to give yourself that motivation. So it could be something that relates directly to your own dreams, or it could be an inspirational quote that you found elsewhere that helps to really inspire and motivate you. So if you'd like to download that free planner, then you can do so by subscribing here, and I will send one straight over to you. I hope you found the video useful, and I hope that it will help you stay more focused in your own business. We'll have a live Q&A in my Facebook group Business Class on Thursday to discuss any questions that you may have about it. So I'd love to see you there. If you're not already a member of the group, then you can use the same link to sign up, and I'll send you an invite. So I hope to see you there, and as I say, I hope this has been useful, because life's too short not to spend it doing the things that you love. Goodbye, I'll see you next week.